So we have a couple people joining right now, so I'll go ahead and get started. Um, Now, let me share my screen, right? So the first thing what I want to do is show different filters, how you can just see properties online. There are many different platforms where you can search properties. You can also ask an agent to find a property for you that you want to fix and flip. Okay. So today I'm not going to get into details of how you find a property and how you do the flip. Today I'll be specific to how you calculate the numbers on the property. Because one thing you have to understand, when I was buying properties myself, I was not a realtor at that time. And nobody really cared about how much profit I want to make, and it was the only person who had to prepare everything was me, right? So one thing you have to understand is you as an investor had to learn how to run numbers because you're putting your own money into it, right? Even though you're borrowing money from someone, you have to give the money back to them. So they're going to say, like, you buy whatever price you think you're going to make profit. All I care is I want my money back and my profit back if you're going to borrow money from someone. So you have to really learn this thing if you are going to buy a property to fix and flip it, because if you do a bad job at running numbers, then you're not going to be able to make the right offer and you can lose money, right? So let me tell you this one thing. Okay, let's say, like, you want to actually search a property in Basel, okay, and you can actually filter on different properties. Let's say, like, this is going into foreclosure, right? um, right, so let's say view details. This property is a distressed property. It's in a bad condition. It needs a lot of work. You have to find these type of properties which are not in a good condition. Okay, there is mold, right? um, there's so much work that the property needs, right? It needs flooring, needs carpet, needs washer dryer, it needs everything that you have to buy, right? Kitchen needs paint. It needs some work in the deck, and in the attic it needs new roof, new porch. I think swimming pool needs some work. The garage need to be cleaned up. And it sounds like this property was abandoned or it was vacant from a long time, right? So these are the properties you want to actually buy, right? Which are in a bad condition, which needs work, right? So you look at all these properties, you actually get foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. Some properties are on the market, right? You can actually have different filters over here. For sale, you can scroll down and search for these properties. I don't want to go into more detail of this because we'll cover this topic in a different different time, because right now I just want to, and I picked one example of a property that is not in a best condition, right? So this property needs some repairs, it needs some work, right? It's it is in a decent shape, but still, like, a lot of things in this property are kind of old style, right? So bathrooms are in a decent shape, everything in a decent shape, but it still needs some work. Okay. So the first thing I want to show is a list of things that you would actually need to have in order to, right, fix a property, fix and flip, do whatever you want to do, right? So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, so first, let me give you an estimate of general repairs. These are the repairs I put together just based on my experience, and these don't apply to each and every house you actually look at. Some houses might be very small, only 1,000 square feet. The roof might cost you only like $15,000 or $18,000. Some houses are even bigger, so roof cost might be $30,000. These are just average prices, right? Bathroom remodel, if you want to just put a nice vanity tub, tiles and everything, it's probably around 5,000. But if you are actually changing the entire plumbing, doing a lot of work, breaking some walls and doing, expanding the bathroom, making it big, and opening the entrance of that bathroom into the, right, if you're trying to open that entrance into the bathroom, into the living area or washroom, then you would actually have to estimate the repairs for that as well, right? So that's one thing you have to kind of keep in mind. So bathroom is going to cost about 5,000. Flooring will cost around $10,000. Exterior paint, we're looking at 5,000. Interior paint, 5,000. Kitchen with appliances, everything will cost you around $15,000. Mechanicals about 5,000, right? So these are general costs that actually go with the house. Well, you might be able to find a handyman who can actually get a roof done for you for a lot more cheaper, right? But these are basically the costs that you would have to pay a general contractor if the general contractor is going to cost, right? But there are a lot of other things that will come in the house, right? So when I purchased the house, one of the problems that we had was the flooring was uneven. So if you keep a ball at one corner of the house, the ball will roll to the other corner of the house. That means one corner of the house was up, one was low, and that was pretty much for pretty much all the rooms. And the realtor that I hired never really never made any suggestions like which that you should not buy this house. I was new to the investment game and I bought that property. It just took me 3 months and $25,000 worth of work just to level the flooring. I had to put the new floor, but before I put the new floor, I have to level up the studs and all the things into it. So another $25,000 were added to the cost of the house. So you have to realize that there are so many things people will not tell you, and you have to learn by yourself. Because I have so much experience, I can actually give you recommendations on, like, if you're buying a property, I can tell you like which property to buy. There were so many properties I actually showed to my buyers and I recommended them not to buy because there were issues in those properties, right? So that's one thing that you really have to make sure when you're actually buying a property, that you make sure that you're not buying a property that has major problems. Foundation problem is a major one. Okay, so these I didn't put them in there. So for an example, if you bought a property that needs a foundation issue, that's about $20,000 extra. The reason is, if there is a crack in the wall, you can fill that crack in with some cement, but that's not going to fix the problem because the crack will get bigger and bigger, right? So you have to get a jack using which you can hold the house, and then you have to break that wall and replace a new wall. So for that reason, the foundation cost even more. Sometimes it could be even $50,000 if there are cracks in all the foundation that you have in the house. And sometimes you will not even realize, people will fill in those cracks and paint the wall so that you will not see the foundation problems. 5-10 years later in future, you will find out, well, there was a foundation issue, they have just painted. So you have to really read the disclosures properly, because you have to, if they actually didn't write in the disclosures that there is a foundation issue, you can go back to the seller and you can sue them for not disclosing a problem, right? And most people don't know that. So you have to make sure that even the inspector will not be able to find that. The only way the inspector might be able to find it, he have to scratch the wall and remove all the paint to see if there is a crack behind the paint that they have been hiding it, right? So you have to be really careful with that, right? That's one thing. And another thing, so first you have to understand what it will cost. Like, a lot of people will say, well, I can get the entire house fixed in $20,000. That's what I thought. And when I started buying properties, I estimated the cost to be only 20,000, but the cost came up to $50,000-$60,000. So all my formulas I put together, all my profit that I was going to make just went away. So you have to always make sure that you have all the estimates properly written down. There is a repair sheet that you can download. It will have all the repairs and formulas, how you can put together. But if you want me to send it to you one, I can do that as well. Okay. So first step is to find the general repairs, right? Another step to find after market value. ARV is basically after market value. You can never sell the house more than after market value, because if someone buys a house from you, for an example, you bought a house for $1 million and the after market value of that house is 1 million, but you bought that property for $1 million, you spent about $100,000 on that property and sold it for $1.2 million to make $100,000 profit. However, you cannot sell that, because when the bank will come to do an appraisal on a property, the property will appraise for $1 million only, because the bank will not give loan more than what the property is worth, right? So you can only sell the property for its market value. So you always have to keep, that's your benchmark, right? More than market value, you will not be able to sell your property. You have to always keep that in mind, right? Market value is something that you can only, that's like the maximum value for which you can sell the property. Okay. So once you determine the maximum market value of the house, you have to find out the price per square feet of different houses selling in that area. Okay. So I have this one website called realestateabc.com. Okay. realestateabc.com, in which what you can do, for an example, if you're looking to buy this house, you can copy this address and paste into realestateabc.com, right? And search. It will give you all the comparables in the area, in the nearby area that are selling. Okay. So these are all the properties in the area that are selling nearby the house that you're looking to buy. So this is a property that you're looking to buy, right? And so let's do this. Okay. Price per square feet. Let's do this. Insert one above. Subject property PPSFT. So we can do it at the last. Okay. So you have to find out 3 properties. Those are nearby your property that sold in a specific price per square feet range. Okay. So the basic formula to do price per square feet is find out the value of the property, how much it sold, and divide by the square footage. So you will find out what is the price per square foot. And this website will already do that for you. So you don't have to do that formula. So let's say this property is very close to the property that you're going to buy. Okay, 0.4 miles. This is the subject property that you're buying. This property is 0.4 miles away, which sold for $1.2 million and is 3,500 square feet. So price per square feet is 343. Okay, so we will go that, and we will go ahead and enter this into the Excel spreadsheet that we have going on. Okay, 343, right? Now we have to find another one. Okay, 327, 513. Okay, 343, 327, 513. Okay, so now you have found the comparables. Comp is basically comparable. A property that you can compare is basically called a comp. And PPSFT is price per square feet. Once you find these 3, you have to take a calculator and add all three. Okay, 343 plus 327 plus 513 is equivalent to 1183, right? And you divide that with 3. So basically average, you're taking an average. So that average comes to $394. And now you have figured out what is the average price per square feet selling in the area. Once you find out what is the price per square foot selling in the area, you can multiply that with your square footage. How much is that? 2,266. Okay, right? 2,266. So once you multiply it, 2,266, right? $892,000. Value $892,000. So that is a price that you can sell that property for after you have done all the repairs. That's what called is aftermarket value. This is the value you can sell that property to a buyer once it's been fixed up, right? But now, how do you calculate an offer? Like for an example, the seller is saying that, okay, how much can you pay me for this house? Well, this is how much you can sell for. But in order to make a profit, how much you should buy it for, okay? So let's actually make an offer, okay? Let's prepare an offer, okay? Right? We figured out the ARV. After market value, copy and paste into offer market value. Repairs. Let's say that this property roof is good, but it needs everything. So the sum of all of this is showing me over here on the corner, some $65,000. Okay, so repairs are $65,000. The formula for the offer is after repair value minus times 80%. So that's basically 20% discount. Okay, we want to buy the property at 20% discount, and then we want to subtract the repairs. Aftermarket value, let's say, is okay, 892. Okay, this is 65,000, not 650. Let me fix that up. Okay, 892,000 times 0.80. That's $713,000. Okay, 713,000 minus repairs. That's $65,000. Okay. So your offer to that seller would be $648,000. You have to buy this property at $648,000. Well, once you make this offer to the seller is gonna say, well, I'm not gonna sell my property for that cheap, right? But you have to tell them, okay, well, I have to do all this work, right? I have to do all these repairs. I have to spend 6 months of my time. I'm taking a lot of risk. All these comparables in this area, this coming like that. You have to show everything that you're doing. So the seller will say, oh yeah, I understand you're doing this to make money. You're not a, you know, we have to tell them that we are not charity organization. We are organization to actually make money. We are a real estate investment company, right? And when you explain them this, then they will actually sell you the property. There were so many times that I have to negotiate with the seller and we were able to buy that property at a discount, right? So this will be your offer to the property, okay? And how will you calculate your profit is, let's say, how will you calculate, let's say profit, okay? So you buy the property for 648,000, 648,000. You spend about $65,000 in repairs. And then you pay taxes, you pay insurance, you pay electricity bill, water bill, all of that while you are working on the project for 6 months. That could be $15,000, right? Then you actually pay some, some fees, some real estate agent commission, maybe, something like that to sell the property. That might be another $15,000, right? When you do all the math, that's coming up to $743,000. Okay. Staging, right? You can pay staging to make the property really look nice, bring couches and all that. You pay another $10,000. You can spend some more money on lighting and everything. So you will be into for 753,000. Okay, total 753,000, right? But when you sell the property for 892,000, right? 892,000 minus 753,000. Okay, we'll see how much profit we'll make. Okay. Minus 753,000. You will make around $139,000 in profit. Okay. But typically, that's not how it will go. The reason I mentioned you're putting so much profit, it's only if you are putting all your cash. However, if you have a bank or you're borrowing money from a friend who wanted 25 or 50% of the profit, right? For an example, your friend have a $1 million, right? And he's going to give you that $1 million to do all the work. And he said, okay, well, I want all my money back. And at the same time, I want my profit. Well, he might take some profit from you, like maybe like 30%. We're going to be around like $40,000. I don't know. Right. So then you will be left with around $100,000. Okay. So you at least need to target for $100,000 margin if you're selling $1 million house. If you're working on a house that's closer to $1 million. The reason is, if you just target for $20,000 profit, you might actually not even make that profit, because so many things can go wrong. Okay. The market can go bad. If the market can go bad, the house will sell for $50,000 less. So you will at least have $50,000 profit. Or let's say that during the construction of the house, you guys found out that there is some major problem in the foundation. You will spend another 20,000. At least you will make 20,000. The worst thing that you want to happen is break even. So, but you need to keep at least $100,000 profit when you're doing a fix and flip, because if you don't keep that much of profit, things go wrong. You will not have enough room to actually compensate those losses. And that's how I recommend that. That's how cheap you want to buy the property. So, I mean, I had to spend almost $15,000-$20,000 in courses, education, traveling to different states, learning from different people, to come to this level to just learn everything, right? And then when I bought my own properties, basically it was all the education I learned only helped me out a little bit. It's basically like college, right? You go to college, you study computer science, information technology, master's in business administration, whatever, right? You pay 50, 60, 70, $80,000 in your college education, including your bachelor's, master's, PhD, and everything you get, right? Then you take online courses, all of that. And then you go to work at a company. You will have really hard time going through the interview, answering technical questions, right? But once you actually get selected, well, all the work you're doing has nothing to do with all the education you learn, right? That's how this fix and flip business is. I had to spend so much money and everything. After all that, when I actually started buying properties, fixing them and selling them, I had so much time understanding my own business, because I had to learn from my own mistakes and everything I did. So what I want to do is basically, instead of you know, you learning from your own experience. I want you guys to learn from my experience so that you don't have to do the same things that I did, right? So always keep this in mind. When you're buying a fix and flip, buy it at a very low price and at least have a room for $100,000 profit. If you don't have the room for $100,000 profit, don't buy it, right? So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, anything, feel free to ask. Call me, or you can ask over here as well. And then if you don't have any questions, I will even like try to post this online, the recording of it. You will also be able to go and listen to the recording as well later on and go through it and ask any questions. But there are many different things that actually come with the fix and flip, like hiring the right team, how to keep a look at the contractor, how to set up your contracts, how to pay the contractor, and all those things. So I will set up like how you should set up the payments when you pay the contractor. Should you pay before you do the job or after the contractor completes the work, and how you should set up all the payments, and how to hire a realtor and all of that. I'm also a licensed agent as well. So I'll give you all that information with regards to how you can actually put together a fix and flip business where you don't have to do a lot of work. Because if you find the right team, you don't have to do all the work. Like for an example, how the McDonald's is running, the owner doesn't do anything there. He actually hired the right team. He hired the manager, he hired the employees, he hired an accountant, right? He hired a person who will actually bring all the material and put it into the McDonald's, right? And he's just running all the McDonald's based on an instruction manual that is being defined to run a McDonald's, right? That's how you had to put together a manual for your own business, where you don't really have to stress out about every single thing that's going on in your business, but you just put together a right team and right instructions, and then the business will run for you. So hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? Thank you very much.